I've been lifting weights most of my life. I've been training powerlifting, serious dedication, hardcore for about 10 years. Through all that time, I've had lots of different people that I try to help for their sports, or just to get a new PR, or to try to get to that next level of lifting or competing. And I found that I can teach people pretty much anything. I can teach them technique, I can teach them nutrition. Well, I can teach you nutrition right now. Eat a lot. That's all you need to know. Lots of protein. I can teach them their training programs. I can teach them why they're doing the training programs they are, what exercises they need to do, how to find their weak points, how to get used to the gear and how to wear the gear for powerlifting. I can teach them how to prepare for meets. But I found that there's two things that I cannot teach people, or at least I haven't been able to figure out yet. First is heart. The second is willpower. Those are the two things, in my opinion, that are going to kick you up to the next level. That's what separates the state level lifters, the regional level lifters, from the world class elite big time guys. All of those guys have heart and will, and they go non-stop no matter what. They don't quit and they don't give up. That's one of the reasons that I've been able to obtain what I have. I'm not some huge genetic freak. I didn't just automatically kick ass at every sport I ever did. I worked hard for it. I worked hard for all of it. I worked hard to be the level powerlifter I am. And I've dedicated lots of time in my life to do that. One of my better examples, I have lots of stories of heart and will, but I think one of my better ones was the '07 Arnold Classic at the WPO. This is basically the biggest meet of the year, the biggest of the biggest and the best of the best. Coming in about 2 meets into this meet, we're deadlifting in the gym, and I let one get back on me a little bit, and I ended up falling backwards on it. Tore my left hamstring really good. Still have a huge hole in it. Lots of bruising, swelling, all that. So immediately I start rehabbing it. I'm not giving up. This is not going to stop me from doing the WPO. So I'm training it, working it. I couldn't lift as heavy. I had to adapt my whole training situation. I remember one of our newer partners asked Ethan, he was worried I wouldn't be able to do the meet now, or how I was going to do it. And my other partner, Ethan, my main handler, goes, "Don't worry about it. Chad's the last guy you got to worry about. If he's got one leg, he's doing that meet." And that's true. That's how I am. So we get to the meet. Didn't get to lift as heavy as I wanted, and I think that's why I weighed in. I weighed in about 10 pounds light. We're getting ready for the squat, did all my stretching and everything, and I put on my briefs. By myself, I slip them right on. Ethan's kind of going, what the hell's up with that? I go, I don't know. Let's get the suit on and see. So I put my suit on, and he turns around yelling at somebody, probably like he usually does, and I pull my suit right up on myself. He turns around and goes, we can't do this. We got to try the new gear. And all I had was brand new gear I never had on. And I wasn't willing to put that on, because if it was too tight and I couldn't hit depth, I'm out of the meet right there. I don't even get a shot at it. So I made a decision. I told him that's that. This is it. This is what we're going with. That's the way it is. End of story. So we warm up. Warm-ups go good. I try not to push it too hard. Get out my opener, 11:24. I'm about halfway to 3/4 up, popped the hamstring again, and irritated the hip injury that I've had for a few years. So I was able to manage, switch over to my right leg and finish the lift, and I got it. So I go back, I talk to Ethan. Ethan is basically asking me if I want to back off so I can stay in the meet and not like try to do real bad damage to it. And I said, no, I'm here to win. I'm going to still try and win this thing. So we jumped up to 1173. I got loose on that second attempt and missed it at the bottom. Still wanted to go for it in the third. Came on in the third. Was going to give it everything I had. This is the last squat. I'm getting this squat. Killer pain, really bad pain. I think you can probably see it in my face in the squat. I think it was about halfway up. I shift completely over to my right leg, and I still locked it out. I managed to get that lift, which was actually a PR lift. That was a personal record for me, and I did it with a torn hamstring. So that was kind of cool. But squat's over. That's done. Move on to deadlifts. Ethan asked if I wanted to maybe drop my opener, because I used a lot of leg drive in my bench, and we weren't sure I was going to be able to get too much leg drive out of it with that hamstring the way it was. And I also asked the judges, I wanted to put a neoprene wrap on it to keep it warm, and that was okay. So I go out 8:05. I get my first one, 3/4 of the way up, ting it into the rack. Lift no good. Okay, that's fine, whatever. Let's stick with 8:05. We'll get it in a second. I don't know what, I got loose or something on the bottom of that one and I missed it. Which means third attempt. You got to get it on your 30, you're out of the meet. This is a situation that I absolutely love. I love that kind of pressure. I love knowing I have to get it on that attempt. So I go out, ugliest 800-pound bench I ever did. But I got it. Got it on my third attempt. Not what I was looking for. We were hoping to go at least 855, but whatever. I got it. I'm in the meet. I was actually ahead leading in the subtotal at that point too. Biggest problem was Andy Bolton was right behind me, and Andy's got a massive deadlift. So I'm gonna stick with a reasonable deadlift opener, 705. Went out and pulled it pretty easy. Still shifting weight to my right, which kind of messed up my grip because I've never had a really good grip anyway. And now I'm shifting all the weight into one hand where one hand's got to support more. But we got it. Wanted to go to 755. Got that lift, but just barely. By the time I got to the top, all my weight was in my right hand and it was pretty much opened. I was just gripping with my fingers as hard as I could. Luckily, I got the down command. I was able to put it down before I dropped it. Another second, I probably would have dropped it. Then I still wanted to go for 8. I thought if I could put the pressure on Andy to force him to make his third deadlift, you know, I had a shot at winning, but it just wasn't there. I was too beat up, too sore. Gave it everything I had, but it wasn't going to happen that day. So I ended up finishing second. I'm the first guy to say second place is the first loser. But in this situation, you know, I kind of had to step back and look at it and go, you know, you were injured. A lot of guys would have never even went to the meet. A lot of guys would have never got through the meet. They wouldn't have kept going, and I kept going, and I still did it, and I did okay. Not what I wanted, but, you know, hey, that's life. You never get what you always want. So it was an all right deal. It was an okay meet. And I'm not telling this story to try and make myself sound crazy or like some badass or something like that, although I probably am kind of crazy. I'm just telling you because my training didn't get me through that meet. My technique didn't get me through that meet. My nutrition didn't get me through that meet. All that stuff helped, but what got me through that meet was my heart. It was my heart and my will not to stop. And because that's the thing that's hard for me to coach people, I'm trying to explain people what it is so they can know and they can look for it. I would like to think that everyone has that deep down inside of them somewhere. If they do or not, I don't know. I just know I have not been able to pull that out of somebody yet. So I want people to realize that that's what they need to find. And when you're in the gym training and it's heavy day, try to look for that. Try to dig down deep and get a PR, even if you're tired or if you don't feel like it. You know, dig down, find that heart and that will and push through it and get that PR that day. And it's the same thing. If you have it in you, you can bring it out. You just got to work at it just like everything else. So be aware of it and look for it and try to find it. I wish that I could say I could bring it out of everyone. I can build people's confidence and I can help them with all the training and all that other stuff. And you need to pay attention to all that other stuff. Take every advantage you can. The better your technique is, the better you're going to lift. But still, if you ain't got the will to put that massive heavy weight on your back and go for it, you're probably not going to get it. So I just want people to be aware of that. Start looking for it. Go out and find it. Dig deep inside on those days when it's hard. If you're trying to get that, I don't know, 700-pound box squat that day, dig deep. I don't care if you missed it twice. Dig deep. Find it inside of you. Go for it. Hit that son of a bitch. That's what you got to find. That's what's going to bring you to that next level. That's what's going to make you an elite lifter. Or even in any sport, it's going to bring you to the top level. So go out, start searching, find it, get it done, make it work.